There you go. Hi, that's
Hi.
the camera there.
Okay, hi.
Hi, so I'm Claire.
Issy?
We're both part of the Leeds Spinners, and Issy has got an update about the managed approach in Holbeck.
Yes. Earlier this week I attended a meeting hosted by Save Our Eyes, Listening Well, St Matthew's Church in Holbeck. I'll skip a year previously. I attended meetings by Save Our Eyes when they first started. It was between the residents, business owners and the police. A year ago they were fighting, this is not going to happen in our area, this is going, it's not staying. A year later, people are talking, residents are resigned to the fact it's staying. They are, and I quote, adapting.
God.
And it was absolutely heartbreaking. Women residents can't go out at night without a male chaperone because of fear of being kidnapped, murdered and raped. Children aren't being allowed out at night because of the same risks. Men are now parking their cars on the periphery of the zone and walking around looking for women to sexually harass, to have sex with, and then possibly pay them. It's a nightmare in Holbeck for women and children. Men are being propositioned, but male residents are being propositioned, but they're not fearing for their lives or about being kidnapped.
Yeah, they're worried about reputation and
Yes.
about impact on their families, which is, again, it's a serious risk, but it just doesn't compare to the risks that the women and children are facing.
The women are realistically scared about rape, being kidnapped in cars and being killed. And this is Holbeck 2020. This is Leeds' year of women and girls.
Yes, we were at a meeting this morning about Leeds as a woman-friendly city. It's already, I believe, a child-friendly city. So tell us what the advice was about the children.
The advice from professionals: children are witnessing prostituted women having sex with men in phone boxes, in gardens. The professionals who were there highlighted that this was child sexual abuse, the fact that they were watching and seeing this in the area where they live. This child sexual abuse that the children are being party to, being brought into, is at the door of Leeds City Council.
Absolutely.
Who have okayed this.
And what did they recommend?
That reports are made to social services about this. Social services are brought on, that the CAFCAS child sexual abuse toolkit is used. This is why Save Our Eyes called themselves Save Our Eyes. It was to save the eyes of children witnessing this
Things that they shouldn't witness.
Rape.
Children shouldn't witness.
Paid rape.
And the thing is, this is storing up future problems, because these children will grow up.
Yeah.
And this trauma, and it is trauma, that's just going to build and build. And this is a mental health crisis that we're going to face in the city in another 5 years, 10 years, however long, and when these children are adults.
Yeah. There's
no intervention going into school. I haven't heard of any intervention going into schools in Holbeck and Beeston to talk to children about, what to do if you see something that frightens you, how to talk to a trusted adult about something.
No, residents are keeping their children away from it, or quite like you would. The children can't go out, and a lot of the Beeston Hill Primary School is right in the middle of this area, and there have been condoms found outside the school, used condoms found outside the school that haven't been collected by the Safest City, Leeds Safest City. There's been needles found outside this school, this primary school, which is in the middle of the managed zone. These are working class children at these schools. This would not happen in North Leeds, in an affluent area, in a middle class area. This would absolutely not happen. And my shock is that the acceptance and the resignation now of residents that it's not going to go away. And that's really quite frightening, and that's shocking.
It really is.
I'm really
gut
upset
punch.
by it. I used to live in Beeston. I don't live in that area anymore. But what I heard and what they're broken. The residents of Holbeck are broken by this. The children are growing up seeing this. Grandmothers can't have their grandchildren to the house in case they see something they shouldn't see. So our elderly residents are becoming very, very isolated.
From the rest of their families.
Also, what came up at the meeting is a lot of good residents, nice people, are having to move out. These houses are then being rented. Some of them are becoming overnight brothels. People are frightened, very frightened.
Because, there's not just the prostitution, but then, a lot of money can be made, so organised crime moves in, and suddenly you're living next door to a brothel where they're running drugs
and drugs is a massive, massive problem now in Holbeck. A huge problem. And there was agreement.
As is trafficking. Women are being trafficked, and children are being trafficked there from other cities, from other countries even, and because there's money to be made. A lot of money for the criminals. The women don't see any of it.
A woman died last year.
Daria Pionko.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. She was murdered within a year of the manager's own starting. A woman died last year in a bedsit she was a prostituted woman, of a drugs overdose. That really didn't make the headlines, and it should have done, because it's absolutely it's the essence of what is going on.
Yeah, I mean these are women who are absolutely desperate, who are at the very end of the road of addiction.
Yeah,
that might have started off years back, but these are the women who are allowing anything just to get that next hit. And these women also have men dependent on them for their addictions as well, so these women are having to work to fund.
They're wage earners. They're supporting men, they're supporting children, they're supporting everybody.
It's not like they are necessarily being pimped in a traditional sense, but they are earning the drugs that their male friends rely on. So, we have various organisations who operate a harm reduction approach, which is to basically go out, offer condoms and talk about rehab. What we need is all of the money ploughed into exit strategies.
Yeah, definitely.
These women have got really serious and complex needs, and they need intensive support over a long period of time. It's not cheap, but they are putting money into the managed approach. They have put in a lot more resources since they announced this review, and this morning I drove through and there were police cars and the streets looked all right.
There's more CCTV cameras up now, apparently. That's what the residents said. But again, the men who are coming to buy sex are parking their cars just outside of where the cameras are, and they're wandering around the streets.
Because their registration plates get photographed otherwise.
And they're wandering the streets at all times of night and day.
Those women should absolutely be decriminalised. They should not be punished. They are being punished by flipping life to be in that situation. But those men that are exploiting those women, to decriminalise them, which is what we've done in Leeds. We've decriminalised
Giving them free rein.
Men's violence against women. And that cannot stand. It cannot stand anyway, but it certainly cannot stand if Leeds claims to be the first woman-friendly city
for women and girls
in the country.
The meeting this morning was at a city centre location, and this is happening less than half a mile away from this meeting, which was promoting how wonderful Leeds are for women and girls. This in Holbeck, less than half a mile away. And
the professional women in there, there was a range of women in there, but there was a big power differential between the women that were being paid by their various employers to do this either as part of their role or, in other ways compensated for their time in order to go to this meeting. And then there were other people who were members of the public who were coming along to that meeting because they are desperate to see change. And you know what? The power thing really, really got to me. And it was actually a woman called Susan who was on my table that first named it. But the thing is that I think a lot of these initiatives are there to diffuse feminist anger, women's anger. Like, we have every right to be angry about this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And the more initiatives they put on that are either tinkering around the edges,
Diluting it.
diluting your
Diluting,
energy,
yeah.
your energy,
Yeah.
diluting the rage which propels you to do stuff about it. And so many women have like asked to be on the Spinners mailing list, you know, and they are very, very welcome to come along to our meetings and to take part in things that we're going to do. And
we
they were
will be
desperate,
focusing on this.
absolutely desperate for people to take action. And you know, the presenter actually said, well, there's a range of views about Holbeck. Yeah, there are. There's a range of views because there's some people that are going there and paying in order to rape the women. They've got one set of views.
Yeah.
And then there's the views of the women who were survivors of the sex trade, the women who have listened over a period of years to the experiences of women who are survivors of the sex trade. You know, this is, you know, women are groomed by society in all sorts of ways, and this is like
and the children that are growing up there now, the girls that are growing up in Holbeck and Beeston, because it's spreading out, they are being groomed to see this as this is what happens to women. This is what we do to women. Yeah, this is what we do to women as a society. This is what Leeds City Council lets us do to women in Leeds. Year of the Women and Girl. It's disgusting. It's absolutely. I'm appalled.
It's such a major issue. And do you know what? If it wasn't for Councillor Sarah Field, it would be unanimous on the council that everyone signs up to this being a good idea.
Yeah, Sarah Field. I was there when we were both there when she spoke last year at the Leeds City Council.
It was the budget meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she's a voice. She's a very brave woman to speak out like this.
And this is something that I think women from all political parties can get behind, because none of us think that this is a good idea. Surely. But it was notable that day that Sarah Field spoke really bravely. And there were some Conservative councillors that came over and said, you know, probably for different reasons, but, you know, they were also in support. I know that there were people sat on those Labour benches that agree with us, but they were all whipped to agree with the council.
Yeah.
No diversity of thought is allowed. How can you run a democracy when you can't even allow councillors to voice that rape is wrong? Anyway, so this is the second video today, so that's it. We're out. Thanks, Issy. Bye.